Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Asian Menswear Podcast. I'm Mike, your host, and I'm with my co-host, Leo Chan. And today's topic is going to be a barbershop talk on Ken Jeong. A hot topic a lot of people are very passionate about. A lot of people, as soon as I bring up Ken Jeong on the Instagram page, people are ready to go up in arms about Ken Jeong. We want to have an open conversation about him and the impact he's had on Asian representation, especially for males. If you guys don't know Ken Jeong, he blew up from the movie Hangover, which released back in 2009. He played this character named Leslie Chow, which is very controversial just because of how stereotypical he was. And during a time when Asians weren't represented at all in mainstream media. But yeah, today's episode is not to bash Ken Jeong, which we could probably easily do, which a lot of people did do automatically. But we want to talk about why are people so upset with Ken Jeong? Is he bad for Asian representation? And we also want to try to jump into his shoes and see what he had to deal with, maybe to give him a fair shake. You know what I mean? But I think this is a conversation that a lot of Asian Americans probably have at a bar or at their friend's place. I'm sure people have this conversation all the time, and it's probably usually very negative. But yeah, are you ready to talk about Ken Jeong, Leo?
Yeah, I'm excited. This will be a really good conversation, the good and the bad. Just really talk about the whole picture of him. I think what you said too. Anytime I think you mention Asian representation and his name is going to get thrown in there, I feel like there's constantly like a hate group against him. So I think this is a good, like, kind of like a once and for all, a big picture conversation.
But yeah, so just some of the things that people are really angry about is his character, Leslie Chow, right? He's the Asian guy who's super loud. I think one of the most memorable, iconic scenes that a lot of people will like remember, and I'm sure a lot of people probably even do it to Asians like in public, you know, it's where he goes, look at my
I think I know exactly which scene you're talking about.
Hold on, I gotta do it, you know. Hold on, let me get it right.
You gonna look up the exact quote?
Yeah, what's the exact quote?
Are you gonna describe what he's doing, or
yeah, so they're in the middle of the desert, and then there's an Escalade, and then Mr. Chow comes out, and he's like, something suck my hairy little nuts or Chinese nuts. And now that I'm thinking about that quote, because Ken Jeong, he's Korean. So for him to kind of tag on into like this stereotype, you know, everyone talks about like Asian guys having small penises.
Right.
So for him to kind of jump out and then just play on that part, you know, and for that movie to become so famous, because that movie apparently did so well in the box office. They actually came out with the trilogy. But
he was
like the highest,
them, right?
Yes, it was like the highest budget box office hit for a comedy ever at the time.
Yeah,
and it essentially lifted him into, you know, stardom, playing this stereotypical Asian character.
Right.
And the reason why people said is because we never had any representation before that.